What's up, everybody? Hop here. I decided to get on out of my cave, get out of my YouTube retirement, quote unquote, and make a video out here for all of you. So, the reason for that is because if you don't know, RuneScape recently released on Steam. And so, because of that, I thought it'd be a good idea to put some kind of little guide out there for those newer players who have never touched the game before to maybe help them get through their first couple hours, try to give them enough to actually judge the game for what it is and see if they want to actually continue playing it. Now, a lot of what I'm going to say is pretty common sense to me, but hopefully it will help out at least one of you out there. And yeah, so here's what I think new players should look to do in their first couple of hours on Gielinor. One thing to note is that these recommendations are generally for players that start out as free to play, which I personally recommend. But if you start as a member, that's totally fine. A lot of what I'm going to say will still stand. So the first thing new players should look to do is write in character creation, and it's to select normal mode instead of potentially Iron Man mode or hardcore Iron Man mode for your first account, because those are different options that provide a different experience that isn't necessarily aligned with what the vast majority of players go through. So the next thing that new players should look out for is spending too much time in the tutorial, and specifically the birth orb area. As much as I'd like to say you should learn and follow it as strictly as possible, I wouldn't personally say that it's the best way to experience the game. That's not to say that it's a bad tutorial, but if you do get tired of it, don't feel obligated to continue it. You can always come back to it at another time, and in all honesty, you're going to actually have to do it later on down the road to continue to progress in the game. But for the first couple hours, I wouldn't say that it's the most important thing to do. In my opinion, you should actually move on from the birth orb area. You'll get some kind of message saying that you're leaving the beginner's area. That's totally okay, but that just allows you to move around the game and experience it in a way that I would say is more appealing. Alright, so the next recommendation I would make to new players is to just play the game. It sounds pretty simple, but RuneScape, as with a lot of other games, takes a little bit for you to get settled in with it. So I would suggest these players go ahead and explore the world. Maybe there's a place you think looks cool on the map, go and check it out. If there's some monsters that look pretty good to kill, feel free to try. If there's a skill that looks pretty interesting, go ahead and try to train it. Although I would say don't train it too much. Don't look to actually grind skills at this point. The point is to just get used to the game and how you move in the game, how combat works, and how some of the skills work. Alright, so my next and honestly biggest recommendation I can make to new players is to just go out there and do some quests. It doesn't really matter which quests you do. Just do a few so that way you can get a hang of how each quest kind of moves you around the map to new locations, and feel free to explore the new areas that you might unlock. If you want to continue forward with some of the follow-on quests from the tutorial, by all means go for it. Or maybe you found some other quests around the starting area, such as the lumberjack chef who needs a little bit of help. Feel free to help him. The point is to get you interacting with these quests and how they work, because quests are very often give access to these new areas of the map or to rewards that help you train your skills faster and more enjoyably. Because of that, this makes quests an important part of progressing your account in the future. Now, if you really want or need a quest to look to complete in the future to get yourself going, I would recommend working towards Dragon Slayer. That will take a lot of time for you to get there, so that should be plenty to start off with. Alright, so my next and final recommendation is to get involved in the community. And the reason I say this is because RuneScape has one of the best communities out there, and there are actually many, many, many clans out there that are looking for new members and are totally open to having free to play, first day joiners, and that's great. One thing that's really cool about the game is that the community in general, compared to other games, their clans don't actually require much in terms of commitment beyond hitting their own specific requirements that each clan may or may not have. Um, However, that's my piece on clans, but if clans aren't your cup of tea, there's many other ways to interact with other players, whether it's just chatting in public chat or posting on Reddit or Twitter or the forums. In general, I would say that the community is very open to new players, so definitely feel free to check out any and all of those options if you're interested. And so, guys, that's really all I have to say. Most of this is pretty simple and open-ended, I know, but that's kind of the beauty of the game. It doesn't force you down any specific path or into any specific build or into any specific type of player, so it can be a little daunting when you first start out, but hopefully this provides a little bit of guidance. Some things I do want to mention, and these are kind of some small little tips before I go. The first tip that I have is to don't screw with the interface at all once you get into the game. There's ways that you can do that, and honestly, it probably requires its own guide to detail how to modify it how you want to look a certain way and do certain things. Don't mess with it. Just use the default interface that you spawn in with. If you've managed to somehow change the interface, that's totally okay. What you can do is you can hit escape to pull up the options menu, and then you click below load layout. It'll say like RS3 default or some other option. You can either click RS2 default or retro, and both of them will kind of get you a similar interface to what you spawn in with, and hopefully that gets you what you need. So with all of that said, the last little bit of information I'd like to impart on you guys is that after about 5 to 10 hours of playing, ask yourself if you could see yourself playing the game more regularly. If the answer is yes, I would honestly consider picking up membership. Reason why I say that is that free-to-play is a great taste for what the game can be, but members is really what the game is, and it's a much fuller experience. In the United States, the various packages offered are $11 for 1 month, $30 for 3 months, $55 for 6 months, and $100 for 12 months. One thing to note is that the 1, 3, and 6 month selections have recurring payments, so watch out for that. There are other options available through DLC or whatever on Steam, and I've checked them out a little bit, and I don't personally see value in them, but if you do, that's totally fine. If you are considering getting membership, I would highly suggest only getting the 1 month subscription, whether that's like the DLC one or just the one on the website. Only get the 1 month, and there's 2 reasons for that. The first is that if you kind of grow tired of the game after a little while, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for you to work up that point of time where you're kind of just like, I'm done with this game. That's happened to me. I'm sure that's happened to a lot of you before. So that is why the 1 month kind of makes sense. So that way you're not paying for like 2 extra months of membership or more potentially for a game that you're not actually actively playing. The second thing is that there's going to be packages for membership that are offered in around a month's time that are significantly better deals for 3-month, 6-month, and year-long membership. So be on the lookout for that. It's called Premier Club. Those are the best packages that you will find. They are nothing like the DLC offered. They actually offer specific advantages in the game. Whether you like that or not, that's up to you, but they do offer that. However, if you're not feeling comfortable picking up membership, that's totally fine. I'm just kind of putting that out there for people to know or to see. And it's completely your choice, and honestly, no hard feelings from me. I understand. Now, with all of that said, I think I've covered enough to get a lot of you guys playing and starting the game. The next video I might consider making maybe a follow-on from this that kind of goes more into the next stage as a new members player, but honestly, we'll see. I'm not sure. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoy your time on Gielinor and have fun experiencing what RuneScape can give you. It's given me a lot, and I've had a lot of fun playing the game over the last, 12 odd years. So hopefully you guys will also have a similar amount of fun. So until next time, I'll see y'all later.